big note for the Buckeyes here is that graduate forward Rebecca Mikulashikova is not starting, and so Ebony Walker gets her first start of the season.
And Mikulashikova, their big, who really is good at shooting from three, 42% shooting from three over the year, so she's going to be missed, questionable in this game. However, Ebony Walker slots in, and she's played very limited minutes this year, but she's definitely capable. So much talent on this Ohio State team. She's definitely capable of keeping the load moving forward.
Meanwhile, Casey Harder, a first year for Northwestern, stays in the starting lineup. She was inserted for the first time back on December 10th and has been fantastic since added to the starting five. Buckeyes with the first possession of the night, and here's J.C. Sheldon. We know she can fill it up, and she's got the first bucket of this game.
And there you see those mid-range shots from J.C. Sheldon's where she thrives in her game. All over the court, we're going to see lots of mid-range shots. This was a Ohio State team that struggled shooting the three-point ball against Michigan. One of the main reasons they ended up falling in that one. So let's see if they continue to try and take those three-point shots or if they rely more on the mid-range game.
And they're extending their perimeter defense out toward midcourt, forcing a turnover as Harder travels.
And we're going to see as well some heavy pressure from an Ohio State team. Northwestern in their game against Penn State, they really struggled against Penn State's pressure. It didn't allow Northwestern to get a lot going offensively, so Ohio State looking to kind of do the same thing here tonight.
On the baseline, Taylor Theory. Now Ebony Walker leaves it a little short. Walsh picks it up on one bounce, almost has it swatted away by Theory, but the Wildcats re-secure it. On the other end, Daly throws it over the outstretched arms of Mott, and the Cats turn it over. And Daly, who racks up a ton of steals, almost got her mitts on that one, but it will stay Ohio State basketball.
And you're already seeing kind of the speed that Ohio State wants to work with here. They want to move fast. They almost want to get into kind of a track meet here against a Northwestern team, so they're really going to use that athleticism. Mel Daly is all over the place early on.
And she averages almost 2 steals per game. 10th in the Big Ten with that mark. Taylor testing the dribble drive. Daly cuts her off. Leaves it short on the spin move. Tapped out of bounds by Walsh. Will stay on this end.
Mel Daly just some tremendous moves there to stay with Taylor, not let her get around her, and just forces the errant shot.
Wildcats trying to keep Ohio State off the offensive glass. And Sheldon triggers from the corner. That one's an air ball.
You talk about the rebound game. Ohio State under head coach Fred McGuff is 129-16 when they out-rebound their opponents. And this is a Northwestern team that struggles to rebound a little bit, so they have to kind of win that battle along the boards.
Daly leaves it short from the mid-range. Theory brings it up for the Buckeyes. Almost lost the handle. Open jumper for McMahon, tapped around. Walker corrals it, and then an easy 2 for Theory.
Already seeing the issue on the glass. Easy offensive rebound for the Buckeyes leads to the second chance opportunity. And this Ohio State pressure really forcing Northwestern to take their time.
Ohio State isn't a great rebounding team. They're just +1 per season in rebounding margin, which is part of the reason, Dylan, that they have really thrived under McGuff when they do rebound well, because they do everything else so well. Mott defended well at the rim by Taylor, and she brings it in for the Buckeyes.
A little bit of contact there on the shot. Surprised there wasn't a whistle.
And the home crowd certainly wanted a foul call. Sheldon blows past Lau all the way to the rim for 2.
And there you see the speed from Sheldon as well. She's able to just dribble right around, find the open space, and put up the easy layup.
Ohio State blanking Northwestern through almost 3 minutes here in Evanston. And so far, Dylan, the Buckeyes have really controlled the glass.
Absolutely, and that's been a big part of their game and what they're going to want to do today. It's going to be a theme, I think, that we're going to be talking about throughout the game in terms of the rebounding. Northwestern has only out-rebounded opponents in 5 out of their 14 games so far this year, and so far off to a slow start in the rebounding game today.
Melanie Daly misses that runner, and Ohio State can extend its early lead. Buckeyes 10-3 this season, ranked number 20 in the country. They've only played 2 true road contests, though. They're 1-1 in those ball games. Rebound for Walsh off the miss from McMahon.
And the other aspect that we're seeing from Ohio State, is this kind of half-court defense. This was something that, talking to head coach Fred McGuff earlier today, he said that they need to improve on their defense. It's something that, in order to really reach their ceiling on the season, that defense is where they need to really improve. And half-court defense especially is a place, and here with almost 4 minutes played, yet to give up a point.
And they're aided by a 3-second call on Walsh there. Northwestern's now turned it over 3 times. Nice dish to McMahon, or rather Ebony Walker, who puts it in for 2.
And we've seen early on as well, Ebony Walker finding herself space in that paint, getting open, and then just getting some easy shots away. Gets the easy 2 there.
First start of the season for Ebony Walker, filling in for Rebecca Mikulashikova. And Ohio State continues to take it right to the tin, but McMahon can't finish there. Harder going one-on-one the other way. Misses the scoop shot. Tapped out of bounds, will stay here.
Casey Harder just has really taken an expanded role so far this year. Saw a nice play there with her driving to the rim, using her left hand to try and put up the shot. She's someone who's been very consistent. That's the word that Maggie Lyon used to describe her earlier today.
Walsh for 3, she rattles it in. So the Wildcats finally break the seal here midway through the first. Taylor, pull up. Karams out, rebound for Caroline Lau. Lau hasn't had her hands on the ball very much in the first few minutes, but she hands off for Walsh. Back-to-back triples for Kaylee Walsh. The Wildcats cut the deficit to 2. Timeout, Ohio State.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Northwestern trying to pull a pretty big upset today against the number 20 Buckeyes as Walsh gets contacted on that shot attempt. Deflected out of bounds. Still NU basketball as Haley Weaver comes into the game.
What a response from the Wildcats. Falling down 8-0 early, the early timeout, and they have responded in a huge way.
Walsh spins left. Hook shot rattles out. Taylor will slow things up. Now she wants to drive in. And 1.
Tremendous play there. Drawing the block, getting the and 1. It's that ability to move downhill that we've seen from Celeste Taylor multiple times now. And she is really just doing a great job early on.
And we talked about the fantastic career she's had in college. First, she played a couple of seasons at Texas, then started at Duke. But it was obvious early on that she was going to be great. She played varsity for Long Island Lutheran High School when she was just in 7th grade. And she converts the 3-point play. Again, the Buckeyes slap on their full court pressure. But the Wildcats break it. McWilliams on the baseline. Second chance in it. Scores off the glass.
Well, there is that offensive rebound that the Wildcats so desperately need. They've been working on it in practice, and they get it to go there, tying this one up at 18.
Parks forces it up, and the rainbow shot goes.
Seemed like she almost threw up a prayer there, banked it in high off the glass, but falls in.
A high-scoring game so far in Evanston. Northwestern trying to bounce back from a 40-point loss against Penn State, but they're a different team at home. 5-2 inside Welsh Ryan Arena this year. McWilliams crosses over. The senior captain lobs it out to Pina. Her shot swatted away and brought in by McMahon. Sheldon back to the corner. There's Ricky Harris for 3. Spills off the rim. Kept in play. The Wildcats have it and they can run. Weaver with a 3-on-2. Harder motors her way to the cup and gets fouled.
I will tell you what, from a pure like fan perspective, this game is very fun to watch. Just back and forth movement. Teams are moving fast, high scoring game, and it's basically exactly what you expect when you have a team that is running a full court pressure like Ohio State is.
That style of game probably feeds into what Kevin McGuff and Ohio State want to do, right?
It's what they want to use their athleticism, they want to use their speed, and they really want to make plays. Ohio State typically, because of all that speed and athleticism, they force mistakes by using that pressure. It's a main reason why they have so many players with high steal numbers. However, so far they've really struggled limiting Northwestern.
After Harder splits the pair, 1 point game, shot clock's turned off. And the star graduate guard, J.C. Sheldon, dribbling around the perimeter, gets fouled here with 7 to go in the period.
The screen there set by Theory caused Maggie Pina just to trip up Sheldon. They'll look at an inbound play.
Third team foul against Northwestern. And the second personal on Pina. Taylor in the corner for 3. Bangs off. 1.4 on the clock, Northwestern ball.
That was just a great play design there. Drive in towards the basket and just find the open player left open on the perimeter. Just couldn't convert the 3.
And that will do it for quarter number 1. Ohio State with an early 6-0 run, but Northwestern comes surging back with 4 straight triples. And the Wildcats trail by just 1 after 10 minutes here in Evanston. As Ohio State tries to get back in the win column following a loss against Michigan on the road last Saturday. A tight one, 11 lead changes, and so far this one's been close too, Dylan.
Absolutely. Ohio State pulled out to the early lead, but Northwestern came roaring back, hitting 4 straight threes in a row, and that's what they're going to need to do if they want to stay consistent close in this one.
And this would be a marquee win for Northwestern. It's been quite some time since they beat a ranked team. The last time that occurred was February 13th, 2022, when the Cats beat Michigan in overtime here at Welsh Ryan Arena.
A nice spin move there from Cody McMahon, who has struggled a little bit as of late. 4 straight games with under 10 points. That's the longest streak in her career where she's done that.
And she averages 13 points, 5 rebounds per game for the Buckeyes this year. Sheldon into the passing lane. And she's ahead of the pack for 2.
A little bit lackadaisical of a pass there. Sheldon just reads it perfectly, jumps it, and gets the easy breakaway for the 2 points.
In Ohio State history, she's 9th all-time in steals. Nice pass inside for Walsh, and she's all alone for 2.
Perfect bounce back. Put that pass right behind you and just drive to the rim, get the points.
How's Northwestern getting this many open looks in that kind of real estate?
Well, like we said earlier, something that Ohio State needs to really improve on is that half-court defense, and it's clearly something that they're struggling with here today. They are doing a decent job protecting around the perimeter, besides for those 3-pointers that were made, but since then, really, they've done a good job defending the perimeter, but that's leaving a couple of people open down low.
Meanwhile, we have a foul on Kaylee Walsh, putting Taylor Theory at the line. Theory, a junior from Cleveland, Ohio, averaging almost 14 points per game. Both those points and rebounds marks are top 2 on the Ohio State roster. And more notably, she's tied for 2nd in the Big Ten in steals with her teammate Celeste Taylor. As we've talked about, this Buckeye team can just wreak havoc with how they jump the passing lanes.
And look at Sheldon on that play, just how close she was sticking and just not letting anyone get anywhere away, forced them to pass it away from her.
Hustle play from Haley Weaver here creates an extra possession for Northwestern. Lau looking to enter it, and will lob it out for Mott. Those are 2 of Northwestern's captains, Jasmine McWilliams III. And this perimeter defense keeps extending further and further for Kevin McGuff's squad.
And I mean, they're just doing a terrific job jumping on passes. That's a big deal with them, especially when playing the press and forcing the teams to move in transition. However, even here now, to start the second quarter, we're seeing slightly better in the half-court defense in the way that they're jumping on some of these passes.
And Kevin McGuff is flabbergasted by the out-of-bounds call off this last pass, and he will get a reversal. Certainly a case to be made here for a foul against Ohio State, but fairly obvious that it was off of Kaylee Walsh in Northwestern. So the Buckeyes set up their half-court offense. Here's Cody McMahon going to work. Double teamed, and she traveled. Great help defense from Northwestern.
And Northwestern as well has done a good job limiting some of those transition opportunities from Ohio State, really forcing them to play that half-court offense. And I think that's exactly what both teams realize here is where their strengths and where their weaknesses are, and they're really playing to them.
Walker with a nice pass in transition, but a block for Walsh, and then a putback for the Buckeyes and Taylor Theory. Ohio State's been persistent on the offensive glass, looking for second chances like that. Walsh lobs it over the top for Mott. Easy deuce.
Walsh really using that height there to just find Mott. Just lays it over everyone. Perfectly dropped pass right into Mott.
Northwestern's been passing the ball really well of late. They had 24 assists on 28 made baskets against Rutgers on December 30th. That jumper is good for Celeste Taylor. The lead balloons back to 7. Lau uses the double high screen. Off balance shot. Rebound corralled by Walsh. Back up and in.
We're talking about players really playing to their strengths. You see that just exactly right there. Caroline Lau, a terrific ball handler, uses her ability to drive to the rim, and then Kaylee Walsh, great playing in the paint, picks up the rebound and puts in the putback.
Offensive rebound for Walker. Gets it to Theory. Fights her way past Lau for 2.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
54.
Of course, if you go back 3-4 years to those very competitive Northwestern teams, one of which won a Big Ten regular season title, that's when the Wildcats were beating the Buckeyes. 3 on the key call against Mott. Daly heads to the bench. Maggie Pina's back in. Buckeyes work it around. And an offensive foul called against Cody McMahon.
Casey Harder checks back into the game and immediately makes an impact, drawing that charge. And this is a Northwestern team as well that really doesn't draw a whole ton of fouls. One interesting stat is that they have the highest free throw percentage in all of the Big Ten. However, they are last in the Big Ten in free throws made. Really just shows how little they get to the line and how few fouls they draw.
Mott trying to draw contact here. Sneaks her way around Walker. Almost had the offensive rebound before throwing it away. Madison Green gets fouled attacking the rim on the other end. Madison Green is at the line coming out of this timeout. It's been a long road for Green. Now a redshirt senior. She played big minutes as a freshman back in 2019, but COVID, of course, cut that season short. As a sophomore, she was leading the team in assists, scoring 13 points per game, but that season was cut short by injury for her. She missed all of her junior season due to injury and suffered another season-ending injury last year, this time to her knee. But finally, she's back from that and trying to get back to full speed and 100%. They're working her all the way back to that status, playing about 10 minutes per game.
And she's someone that, if she is able to really get in and start getting some huge minutes, would make a huge impact to Ohio State. She's really that true point guard on this team, has super high basketball IQ, is a great facilitator with the basketball. Should make a huge impact if she can really get back into things.
2 to shoot for Northwestern. Walsh spins, drew some contact, no whistle. Buckeyes almost turn it over, but Green finds it on a bounce. McMahon travels in transition. A fair number of turnovers for Northwestern, but only 3 committed by Ohio State so far.
And that was an issue for Northwestern against Penn State as well, that they had so many turnovers.
Lau sinks the 3. 5 first half trays for the Wildcats. And NU's been really effective from deep. The 5 triples have come on just 6 shots from beyond the arc. Contested shot from McMahon, rebounded by Lau. By no means is Lau the best shooter on this team either. 30% from deep for the season.
Known more as that assist maker, finding her teammates. However, so far here, 6 points.
Daly, fade away, clangs off, rebounded by Green. Sheldon for 3, got it.
Well, Mel Daly, who's had a quiet night, 0 points so far, misses the shot, and then Sheldon comes right back, hits a 3, and extends Ohio State's lead.
9 points now for Sheldon, who's put up 30-plus points in 3 of her last 5 games. Walsh faces up, mid-post, wants the leaning hook shot off the mark. Ohio State loves to run. Here's Ricky Harris, bang! Back-to-back downtown shots for the Buckeyes, and they've expanded the lead to 14.
This was a 1-point game at the end of the first quarter. Ohio State really just gone on a complete run here.
A dozen turnovers committed by the Wildcats after that travel. And Tangela Smith will send in a new wave of Wildcats here. So Walsh to the bench. McWilliams takes a seat as well.
For Northwestern, you've got to figure out a way to get Mel Daly, get her going. 0 for 4 in terms of field goal so far, and just very uncharacteristic. She's generally one of the best shooters on this team, especially from that mid-range. Just not being able to hit anything and really not being able to get going today.
She's kind of been a second half scorer. If you go back to the game against Temple in late December, she had 21 points. All of them came in the second half. Wildcats with another turnover here. Harris for 3. This one's offline. And the Wildcats get it back.
Caroline Lau just a little slow getting over there and trying to defend that 3-point ball. Gave her just a little bit too much space. However, Harris still misses wide.
Ohio State sagging back into a half-court defense now with this double-digit lead. Alana Goodchild getting her first minutes of the night for Northwestern. And she's called for a moving screen.
That's been another thing. Moving screens have been something that this team has tried to work on limiting. They've done a good job of that lately, however, still clearly seeing signs of struggling with that.
Yeah, Northwestern now with 6 turnovers in the last 5 minutes and change, and they haven't scored in over 2.5 minutes. On the block, it's Tyre Parks, gonna sling it back out. Theory with 5 to shoot. Harris for 3. Goodchild boxing out, she reels in the board. The Buckeye is down on the defensive end. Wildcats have numbers. Goodchild looking to capitalize, but too strong on that 3-point attempt. .15 seconds between shot clock and game clock as we approach halftime. Parks from the baseline. Rolls off. And it caromed off Taylor out of bounds, Northwestern ball.
It's really interesting to see just how much space defensively the Wildcats are giving the Buckeyes. They're giving them just a little bit more room to shoot than you might expect. The Buckeyes just not hitting all of them, as at least it's seeing. However, still shooting right now at a 44% line.
Northwestern trailed by just one at the end of the first quarter, but facing a 14-point deficit. Ohio State can pad the lead before the break. That shot deflected, and there was a foul too. Green will head to the stripe.
Northwestern foul number 12, Casey Harder. That's her third personal.
Notably, Casey Harder picks up her third personal foul there.
Casey Harder is someone that you can't afford to lose if you really want to stay in this game for the Wildcats. Just makes such a great impact. Of course, starting her 7th straight game as a freshman, her first year. Just can't afford to lose her.
Here's Green, who's playing the limited minutes, and she gets back to 100%. Out of Pickerington, Ohio, southeast of Columbus. Just .3 on the clock. And that will do it for the first half. So Northwestern catches a break before recess. Still, they go into the locker room down 14.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
She knocks down both. And we'll see if Northwestern can claw away at the 17-point deficit.
We talk about those steals for Ohio State. Well, they currently have 5 players with at least 2 fouls or 2 steals in this game, really making a huge impact, and a lot of that just comes from the full court pressure that they play.
Lau orchestrates the offense for Northwestern. Mott getting position inside, and she's fouled on the entry feed as Tyre Parks got a hold of her. First personal on Parks, 3 team fouls against Ohio State. Not much foul trouble to account for in this contest. Mott works the baseline. Tapped out of bounds by McMahon.
And Ohio State has been doing all of this without Rebecca Mikulashikova, really trying out some different rotations, some different lineups, and it's good for Ohio State to really get some chances to experiment, especially here.
The first game of the season that Ohio State did not have the same 5 in the starting lineup, given that Mikulashikova is out today. Lau with 2 to shoot. Gets some space. The floater too short. Brought in by Parks.
They were really rushing that one there with the shot clock winding down. They had to just put something up quickly.
Parks posting up. Works to her right. Too much muscle on that one. Rebounded by McWilliams. What has to change here for Northwestern to make the comeback?
Well, obviously they have to continue to find ways to break through this full court pressure. That's been the #1 issue. And they've got to get back to shooting the 3-pointer ball. They were shooting it well in the first half. However, turnovers such as right here are causing an issue way too much for Northwestern. They need to limit them. And it's been a common theme throughout the season for Northwestern. When a team is playing full court pressure, yeah, it's hard to fault them for creating so many turnovers. However, they just have to find some way, somehow, to move quickly. So far, they just haven't been able to do that.
You know, those slicing guard and wing players for Northwestern just haven't been able to score in bunches like they have in past games because Ohio State has so many athletes that can run with them. You look at Melanie Daly today, just 2 points, and Haley Weaver hasn't scored yet.
And points off of turnovers, Ohio State leads 19-5. That right there is your game with Ohio State leading by 19 right now.
And even off the bench, Northwestern has plenty of athleticism. Diana Collins with that sprint to the rim for 2, a freshman out of Lilburn, Georgia. Makes it a 19-point lead. Pina, mid-range jumper, caroms off the heel. O-board for Haley Weaver, though.
Rebounding has not been an issue this game so far for Northwestern, currently out-rebounding Ohio State. However, it's been those turnovers that have been costing them.
Beautiful hook shot from Paige Mott. Back and forth. The Buckeyes and Wildcats trade blows here in the third. Green crosses over, penetrates, scoop shot, and Walsh had a hand on top of the shoulder of Parks. So that will be foul number 4 against Kaylee Walsh. And she stays on the floor. Let's see if the Buckeyes try to take it at the Wildcats' star post. Collins scans inside. Now takes it herself, and she lost her pivot foot. Walsh to the bench now, replaced by Jasmine McWilliams. And that's a big loss, Dylan, if Northwestern can't have Walsh on the floor due to foul trouble.
Yep, you need Walsh's ability to shoot the three-pointer as well as working down low. Just going to make this comeback even more difficult for the Wildcats.
Walsh with 13 points per game, 6 rebounds per contest. And the Wildcat offense stagnant right now as Paige Mott commits a moving screen.
And Kaylee Walsh is another example of one of these recurring themes that we're seeing for the Wildcats kind of throughout the season. She's been in foul trouble every single game, at least 3 fouls in every game, has fouled out in 3 different games already this year, and on the verge of fouling out for the 4th time she commits 1 more foul. It's these recurring themes that Northwestern just hasn't seemed to have been able to fix yet this year.
Parks on the block for 2. Her second bucket. And now we get a hand check called against the freshman Diana Collins. So Northwestern really needs to build a little momentum before the end of this period. Chance for 2 possessions before the break. Pina fires it cross court. Weaver for 3, too short, and Parks elevates for the rebound.
Northwestern has had some success with some of these cross-court passes, just working all the way across. Maggie Pina with a tremendous pass there, looking for Weaver, but Weaver not able to convert the 3.
And Madison Green sits on it with only 5 seconds between the shot clock and game clock. And to the rim goes Theory, has it swiped away, and there's a foul.
Northwestern in this game, they've been in it for most of the part. They've been trading blows back and forth. It was just really that second quarter where Ohio State kind of went on a run, and that's once again another theme that we've seen from this Northwestern team is they allow teams to go on too many runs against them. Against Penn State, they led early on in the game and then allowed Penn State to go on a 21-0 run. Here you mentioned an 11-2 run in the third quarter. Also in the second quarter, they allowed some runs. Northwestern has to figure out how to stop some of these runs early before they get out of hand.
4 to shoot for the Wildcats. Mott, Pina at the horn, did not get it off. And Ohio State will go to the 4th with their largest lead of the day, up 21 points. Northwestern with the basketball to start the 4th quarter, facing a 21-point deficit and an uphill battle here. Paige Mott bounces it into the paint. Double teamed and has it ripped away. Ohio State has been ripping it away from Northwestern all night. And they work the transition game for another easy bucket.
A touchdown pass there to Sheldon, who just far and away used her speed to get out of traffic, and easy layup for her.
A dozen steals for the Buckeyes. And J.C. Sheldon now leads all scorers with 16 points. McWilliams penetrates, knocked away. It stays Northwestern ball with 1.7 on the shot clock. Mott misses everything.
Paige Mott, not really the most used to shooting from the perimeter like that. A little too much on that one. And Northwestern has also had struggles today with inbounding the ball. Of course, on their own side of the court, that's due to the pressure. However, on the opposite side of the court, they've still struggled.
And the Wildcats sink off of Ebony Walker, and she says, I'll take that.
Just too much space being given out. Easy turn, easy shoot for Walker.
Walker getting her first start of the season today, now with 8 points, 4 of 5 shooting from the field. Northwestern has really cooled off offensively. They made their first 5 3-point attempts today, but they've made just 1 of their last 7. Still Paige Mott working inside for a hook shot for 2.
And I think this is a perfect example for Northwestern of what happens when Mel Daly does not get going in a game. Still only 2 points in this one, and you need her offensively. She's the leading scorer on this team for a reason. When she doesn't get going, the team struggles offensively, and the team just struggles to score.
J.C. Sheldon now with 18 points after that slick move. And Lau draws a foul on the other end. Alana Goodchild re-enters for Northwestern. Kaylee Walsh returns to the floor. She has 4 personal fouls. Has to be very careful during this final period. And Casey Harder gets open on the inbounds play, drawing a foul.
Lots of contact. That's the first time we've really seen a Wildcat get super open like that off of an inbound play. Draws the foul.
And the foul's on Madison Green, her first personal. And here's Harder at the stripe, freshman out of Harleysville, Pennsylvania, just north of Philadelphia. Came off the bench at the start of this season, but Joe McEwen and his staff inserted her into the starting lineup for the first time on December 10th, and they've kept her there ever since. Northwestern at least shooting it solid from the free throw line, 83%. Ohio State's been great from the charity stripe too, 88%. Walker puts it on the floor and 1. Big night for Ebony Walker.
10 points so far in this one on 5 for 6 shooting and 5 rebounds as well. She's really made a tremendous impact for the Buckeyes today.
A graduate student out of Las Vegas who initially played college ball in the desert with the Arizona State Sun Devils, then spent 1 year in upstate New York, and has found a new home in the Midwest with the Buckeyes. Largest lead of the day for Ohio State. Caroline Lau slashes inside, then throws it away. And Dylan, for Ohio State, this is an important win. It may seem like a game on paper that they were a heavy favorite in, but they had dropped 2 of their last 3 games and really needed to get back on track.
It's the perfect bounce back opportunity, exactly what you need to do. Look, there's a reason these games aren't played on paper. If games were played on paper, you wouldn't see any upsets, but upsets happen a ton in college basketball, especially going on the road. Very tough to win on the road, but here Ohio State proving who they are, up 28, and they just continue to expand upon their lead, really doing exactly what they needed to do.
McMahon with that last bucket. She's got 8 points. Could join 4 other Buckeyes who are in double figures. But Alana Goodchild with that 3 for Northwestern. Maybe they can refine the hot shooting they had in the first half.
She wanted a foul there, a little bit of contact, and she was almost falling back as she shot that one. Still gets the 3.
McMahon faces up and blows right through Walsh, an offensive foul. That's good defense from a player who's in heavy foul trouble.
gets a little bit risky whenever there's contact like that and you're running with 4 fouls. However, did exactly what she needed to do in order to draw the charge.
Pina penetrates and one.
Well, Maggie Pina, who's used to playing along the perimeter and shooting some 3-pointers, drives inside, gets to her right hand and puts up the layup while drawing some contact. She's now 2 points away from 1,000 career points.
A fantastic career for Pina, who was an outstanding player out with Boston University. Was the Patriot League Rookie of the Year back in 2020. Started 94 games over her 4-year stint with BU. And Joe McEwen is really happy to add her as a graduate transfer. The first time that McEwen has brought in a grad transfer here at NU. Meanwhile, Crystal Wang is into the game for the Wildcats as they unload the bench. Harder has her shot sent away by Emma Shoemate. Green with the Euro step, and she gets to the cup for 2.
Crystal Wang kind of lost in no woman's land there on that one, just in between 2 Buckeyes, didn't know where to go.
Wang with the basketball, freshman forward out of Beijing, China. Good child from the corner. Harder an offensive rebound. Now Wang comes up with it, and it's taken away by Green. 1-on-1. McMahon against Goodchild, and a foul is called.
Well, on the other side of the basket, what a play by Casey Harder, coming running in, seeing that rebound, just driving straight for it, but then coming back the other way. McMahon with some nice dribbling here against Goodchild. Goes up for the layup, can't get it to fall, but draws the foul and gets to the line.
And that's part of what makes Ohio State's offense so lethal. Even their forwards can handle the rock and attack the rim off the dribble like that. McMahon, a product out of Ohio, grew up in Centerville just south of Dayton. Graduated high school early so she could enroll at Ohio State in spring of 2022, and she's really taken advantage of the opportunity. 50 straight starts for her as a Buckeye.
And McMahon ends that streak of 4 straight games of under 10 points with that made free throw there. Finally getting back into a nice rhythm.
Wang on the crossover, has it poked away, trying to recollect it, and a tie-up.
Alternating possession goes to Ohio State.
In the Big Ten with 3 teams in the latest AP poll. Iowa number 4, Indiana 14, Ohio State of course number 20, and then Michigan and Michigan State are also receiving votes, so don't be surprised if they sneak their way into the top 25 soon. That corner 3 is good for the freshman Diana Collins. 29-point lead for the Buckeyes. Goodchild inside with the size advantage, but can't finish. Second units for both teams now. Emma Shoemate passes inside. Parks. Collins for 3 again. Too much muscle. Here's the freshman Wang on the baseline. Forces it up and in.
Some nice ball handling there along the baseline for Crystal Wang. That's where she really thrives, is with her ball handling skills and her ability to really move towards the basket.
And Wang went to Sierra Canyon High School in Los Angeles. Same school as Bronny and Bryce James, Zaire Wade, some other celebrity hoopers. Harder pulls it out for the Wildcats. Gives off to Pina. Goodchild. Some nice dribbling. Her entry pass deflected and corralled by Paige Mott. She puts it in, and Mott is now into double figures with 10.
Maggie Pina was about as wide open as possible as a player can possibly get, waiting for that pass along the perimeter. She wants that 1,000 career points.
She's just 1 away now with 6 points tonight. Green. Almost got her own rebound, but it's collected by Mott. Here come the Cats. Some good experience for Northwestern's backups. Good child from the corner. Nothing but net.
That's what Alana Goodchild brings to this team. She hasn't gotten a whole ton of minutes really in this game, but when she has opportunities shooting those three-pointers, she can make them at times.
And she's got 2 of them tonight. 6 total points. Shoemate. That one rims out. Offensive board for Green. Buckeyes trying to end a 7-0 Northwestern run. And there's a foul along the baseline against Goodchild. And another sub coming for Northwestern as Mercy Ademusayo, the junior from Nigeria, comes in and replaces Paige Mott.
She is someone who can really use her height to her advantage. Really great getting blocks, especially in limited minutes.
Two minutes to play in Evanston as Collins hits the elbow jumper. The freshman has 7 points. And that one intercepted by Collins, but knocked out of play. And let's see if the Wildcats try to find Pina.
Collins has made an impact in these limited minutes as well in this game so far today. See the near steal on that one, the 7 points like you mentioned. A lot of these players taking advantage of these late game minutes.
A foul on the entry pass called on Parks. 5 team fouls against Ohio State, so Ademusayo will be at the free throw line here. 3 of 6 on free throws so far this year. Played in 31 games over her first 2 seasons at NU, coming off the bench for limited minutes. Hails from Nigeria, but she attended the Linden Hall School for Girls, about 75 miles west of Philadelphia. Joe McEwen loves her size, her ability to block shots, and that she can run the floor and finish. Green with the left hand.
Some great movement there, just working around defenders, getting towards that baseline and just putting up the layup. Nice adjustment towards her left hand as well.
6 points, the redshirt senior out of Pickerington, Ohio. Pina stepped on the sideline. So while Ohio State perhaps gets back on track here after losing 2 of their last 3, Northwestern wants to avoid another losing skid. They had dropped 6 straight from late November through mid-December, won 3 straight against Bradley, Temple, and Rutgers before their loss against Penn State earlier this week.
And Ohio State in this game has really played exactly the type of basketball that they want to play in this game. They have pretty much perfectly executed their full court pressure and has just caused all the turnovers for Northwestern. Currently 37 points off of turnovers for Ohio State in this game, and that's just how they play. It's their type of game plan. Northwestern fell right into it.
And there are now 6 Buckeyes in double figures as Collins hits that triple. 10 points for her. And Crystal Wang goes to the free throw line. Played for the #1 team in the nation on the high school level when she was with Sierra Canyon. Just about 5 minutes per game for her during her freshman campaign.
I'm sure she is someone that this coaching staff is really excited to have a chance to develop and continue to grow, and just as the years progress, see where she can become.
Shoemate from the corner for 3. A barrage from downtown before the horn. Ohio State 7 of 18 from downtown tonight. And one more forced turnover. This Ohio State defense carries the Buckeyes to a 30-point victory in Evanston.
Well, that was a very fitting way to end this game, on a turnover for the Wildcats, with 28 turnovers in the game compared to 6 for Ohio State. That's where this game was completely won and lost between these two teams.